Most functional CPG brands deploy the wrong product development process. I said what I said. If you spend enough of time within the functional CPG niche online communities, you'll likely hear a large subset of that community talking about how there's no longer any innovation in the space. Well, I actually disagree with that. I actually think it's the opposite, that there's actually an oversupply of innovation in the market. It's just that consumers don't necessarily know how to fit it into their lives. And whose problem is that? It's not the consumers, it's actually the brands. And it comes down to an outdated product development process. And this product development process is basically called supply side innovation, where a business, its owner, employees, whoever's kind of dealing with product development, thinks they know about the particular market or that particular target customer. They obsessively build a product around that assumption of the customer or the market. They're always paying attention to the competitive landscape and how it can sell its product. The business ends up pushing these products through sales and marketing strategies on the market. And that mentality, paired with the lower barriers of entry across a number of business modalities, has created an overabundance of innovation across every single category. So what is the solution here? Instead of starting with brand product competition perspective, you should actually start at the customer consumer perspective. So Steve Jobs famously said, you can't just ask the customer what they want and then you go and give it to them, because by the time you give it to them, they're going to be looking for something else. Now, that might be true for the technology industry, but for consumer packaged goods, there tends to be a smaller product life cycle. There tends to be a much quicker response to consumer needs and wants. Every decision that a customer makes shouldn't be thought of as trivial. When consumers are looking to buy a product, they are actually looking to hire that product for a specific job that it currently has. And this is the basis of a business theory called jobs to be done. And it believes that markets aren't defined around its products. They are defined as groups of individuals looking to fill a particular job. Customers aren't buyers, they are actually job executors. But all that being said, if you don't understand the deep, detailed, and real reasons why a consumer is choosing to hire your product, you're honestly operating blindly. So how exactly do you get a deep understanding of your customer? You need to start having deep conversations with these customers, asking them questions like, why did you choose this product? How do you use this product? And why did you change from your existing product to this one? And I'm not talking about sending a faceless, nameless online survey. I'm talking about actually picking up the phone, calling key customers, having a human to human interaction, and really getting to know every aspect about why that consumer is choosing to hire your product for the job that they have within their lives. You're really looking to get to the smallest details possible. You're looking for patterns across these interactions to see if any pain points emerge. You should be understanding the hire fire decisions with these customers and what tends to be their trade-offs. And this should extend past the current customers towards your past customers that maybe have left for whatever reason, and the future customers. With that perspective, you'll be able to rapidly kind of come up with some fixes to current products. And if you listen well, you might find solutions to your customers' wants that they didn't even know they had. And this is kind of the holy grail of demand side innovation, is actually being able to listen and understand what your customer wants to create new products in the market for them. So just to recap very quickly, you're looking to highlight key customers, or in the case of like a pre-launch startup, you're looking at defining that ideal customer and reaching out to them, conducting interviews to understand existing struggles, organizing those interview transcripts and hopefully gaining some insights, and then building, testing, and iterating that product. Supply side innovation is basically invention, and inventions fail a ton because, quite honestly, there's not much demand a lot of times for those inventions. But demand side innovation, this is true innovation. This is creating something of value. And within the functional CPG industry, that's mostly iterative innovation. So taking previous valuable innovations and building off of them. Another kind of concept to think about here is that products are services and services become experiences. Products aren't just products. Every product is a service. And it's imperative to understand exactly how the customers are utilizing your products. The way that they utilize these products are a part of the product experience. And your brand still has responsibility for this. Functional CPG products will never be the entire solution to reaching a goal. They are just a tool that customer is going to use ultimately to get to that goal. If a customer doesn't understand exactly how to use that product or is not getting the results it expected to reach its goal, then the brand should be paying attention to that and changing some aspect of their business model or iterating the product so it creates the optimal product experience. And I just want to end this video with a case study for a very well-known demand-side innovation example, and this is with Target's private label brand Good and Gather. I was lucky enough to be in the crowd when Good and Gather was announced by Target's then head of food and beverage. And when that announcement was happening, I kind of instantly thought, wow, Target really has something here. And that's not something that I normally kind of have in terms of my thoughts. I don't usually get too excitable, especially when we're talking about a retailer's grocery private label. But I started to think about all the different ways that customers would be implementing these products into their lives and just how well thought out that set of product innovation looked. And Good and Gather arguably became the most successful private label brand launch in Target's recent history. In the first 9 months, the sales of Good and Gather reached $1 billion. And I think throughout 2020, it reached over $2 billion. And it's now the largest product assortment across any of the Target's private label brands. And what I didn't know at the time when the announcement was happening for Good and Gather, and why I kind of had that initial kind of really strong feeling that customers were going to love it, is that Target really took a demand side innovation approach and got a deep understanding of its customers to understand exactly what they wanted. So Target would go and shop with those customers. Target would go and cook with those customers. Target would eat with those customers, have deep conversations, hours and hours and hours to understand what exactly their customers were looking for. And then based on some of the Target's historical sales data, customer data, a number of other kind of data points, they threw all that kind of together and provided a private label product lineup that really got to the core needs and wants of those customers based on some deep habitual pain points that they had in their lives. So I hope you guys enjoyed this particular piece of content. If you guys have any questions about demand side innovation or just product development as a whole, please leave a comment on this piece of content or reach out to me on any of my social media accounts.